So it is Monday, May 18th, another Monday in the books. Check, check, one, two. All right, live stream ready in three, two. All right, what's going on, everyone? Hey, all right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome back to another edition of our Monday night online open mic presented by the Barbed Open Mic series here in El Paso, Texas. Chucotown 915. That's right. We are live and alive on the 915. My name is Richie. I'll be your MC and host today. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new here for the first time, very first time, welcome. If you're returning, as always, it's always great to have returning guests and performers. So just a couple announcements as always before we get started. This is first of all, our online platform that we have on Mondays. We've been doing it every single Monday since April of 2020. Not missing a single Monday. Just want to reiterate that. Have not missed a Monday. And we've had, lots of people fill in and help over those years. But really, it's just about giving people space to share some stuff on a Monday night. Hopefully start off with a week. So, a couple other announcements. So if you're in the live chat, if you're listening in, if you're tuning in live with us, say hello in the chat. It's always nice to know who's here with us. I'll give you guys shout outs throughout the night. A couple other things. Shout out to if you just recently graduated. Congrats, grads. Lots of people in our community got to celebrate last week, this weekend. Personally, earlier today, I got to go to our graduation with the college, and I got to be part of the faculty there for that. That was fun. But if you are looking for places to perform in El Paso, as always, we have at least 2 or 3 per week, not even including this online mic. So just as usual, let me run down the calendar for you guys of this week of May 18th. Of course, we're online tonight, but tomorrow we are going to be live in Rosewood. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be at Rosewood for our Verse and Harmony open mic. So if you are a musician, a writer, a poet, come through and do your thing. Sign up for that. Starts at 8 p.m. The show starts after 9 p.m. There's usually several food options. So if it's a time of evening or night where you get a little hungry, you can grab some grub. But it's usually a lot of fun. Tuesdays there at Rosewood. Sometimes we do even get tap dancers, it's like, it's a bigger stage, so sometimes people seek it out, is what I'm saying. Wednesday, we have Storycraft, then that's hosted by Fernando, aka the King Grizz, and this is our event for longer form storytelling. So it is like pretty much the only opportunity where you get up to 15 minutes max on the stage to share a piece. So if you have any kind of story that you want to share, you'll put your name on a piece of paper, crumple it up into a ball, and throw it into a goblet, where there will be names drawn throughout the night, and hopefully you get chosen. Where you get up to 15 minutes of stage time to share something, max. You don't have to use all that time, by the way. Followed by up to 15 minutes of audience feedback. The one 2 weeks ago was really, really solid. A lot of people got to read. And so if you're curious about that, you can find Fernando, the King Grizz, on Instagram. But sign up for that. Starts around 6:30, and the first draw starts around 7. This is actually also one of our earliest nights. So I know if that's a complaint, sometimes it runs a little late into the night. This one we try and be done before 10. But as we go. But those are BWOMS events this week. Thursday, I am going to be part of another jazz night. This week we're going to be at International Bar. So last week we actually had a debut at a new venue called Smolder and Brass. It's a cigar lounge in downtown El Paso, and it was a lot of fun. I think the venue liked it, and I know that the servers for sure loved it. A bunch of them actually went up and read their own poetry, but it was fun to jam. And I think I'm trying to just see who else would be interested in doing that kind of stuff, because the big stage is at International Bar on Thursdays. This week we're going to be featuring what I call Word Groove, which is poetry and hip hop along with jazz. So I'll be one of the featured poets, along with Tres Sabores, aka Roberto Carlos, who's a rapper from Juarez, and Celia Aguilar, who is a poet and rapper as well. So it'll be the 3 of us jamming throughout the night, this Thursday International. But as always, keep up with us. Check out our website, bwoms.com. Check us on social media, because we do have open mics and events all throughout the week. all throughout the month. We are closing up May pretty soon, so expect that last Thursday at Old Sheepdog next week. Of course, hosted and run by Kit Ren. But this is the part of the show where I usually talk the most. If you guys have any more questions, there are a lot of interesting links that you guys can check out in the description of the video, including a link to sign up if you wish to. We're going to go ahead and bring up our first reader of the night, sharing some poetry and joining us from Denver. We have Michael Sindler. So, Mike, when you are ready, the stage is yours. Yo.
Hey, thanks, Richie. Great to be here as always. Real quickly, just get out of the way. Little thanks to lighthousewriters.org, and a reminder that they're getting ready to have Lit Fest coming up real soon. And there are a lot of really good virtual things, including they have a lunchtime business things that are actually rather inexpensive, and they have editors and agents and all this from some pretty major things that are going to be discussing all kinds of stuff about how to do that. That's just one tiny part of what's going to be there. So I highly recommend lighthousewriters.org to go check that out. And the other thing I want to plug is me, which I do have an open mic that I host now on Friday nights. It is kind of a late night thing. It starts at 9:30 here on Mountain Time. It's a very mellow place. It also is a place where you can come and do some longer pieces if you want. We are very open to all kinds of material. So if you're a night owl, please come join us. I'm going to start with a piece because we've been having so many forest fires raging here as of late. This piece is called Aftermath. Lost Forest finds brief home in lung. Cilia force foreign fragments out, choking on survival's broken chain. Every element of cycle turned charcoal. From root to canopy, bee to bear, wind whirls with sorrow's song. A smoky requiem, concussive crackle, reborn in strained flora's thick liquid. Fur and mulch expelled with mucus, eyes tear involuntarily, salt water stream that cannot quench flame. Black flag alert of imminent peril stretched thin across continent, unfurled warning of increased warming, whole globe soon rendered uninhabitable. Last cries of plant and animals fly unheard, mute witnesses to narcissistic species whose suicide takes all else along. In short, headstrong, destructive spiral, over aeons, nature's balance will return. Earth will turn on axis, spin in orbit. Fire a constant but artificial accelerant, mere speck of ash blown through time. No tempting trace of ego left behind. Failed grasp of inevitable, frail attempt to vainly wrest control from quintessential. Gray sky warns of flood and famine. Drought flexed finality of food chain. Its fall a harbinger. History's conclusion. Life sprouts anew in grand diversity, nurtured from humanity's humbled aftermath. And I'll do one that's a little bit more positive, because that was kind of a bummer. It's called Beneath Our Heels. Beneath our heels, heavy booted or barefoot, a conversing lace of root and mold of lines and lives interconnected and electric. Lay prone or supine, clothed or naked, pressing against earth, eyes shut, breathing in rhythm. Feel the language of terra firma as it dances, flickering from flora to flora, a vernacular of vegetation so unlike our own. its vibration filling forest, laughing under lawn, tied together in tender terminology, indecipherable, undetermined telepathy. Press yourself into soil or soft grass carpet, hide between tall grain stalks hemmed into rows that reach like telegraph lines bearing news of nature across acres. Forget all that you can of surface, even as insects, curious creatures, crawl in inspection, searching new mass for substance. Focus down into firmament. Feel yourself grow roots. Feel them dig through dirt to meet and mingle with mushroom and oak, sassafras and chinaberry, rhododendron and viburnum, iris and ivy, and all that is green. Let your soul sing with substratum. Let bacterium germinate, a flowering sense of wonder, bloom and blossom in awed awareness of mutual dependency and community. Open eyes and rise, stand tall, stretch to sky, a shoot turn sapling turn tree, drawing inspiration, returning adoration, romance of root entwined in heart. Stride on and carry love, subtle song of earth forever in your ear. And seeing how I am not showing up on your camera, I don't have to put on a hat to do this cover piece by Paul Muldoon, amazing poet, who I could say some more things about, but I won't right now. It's called Anzio. When the master was calling the roll at the primary school and college lands, you were meant to call back Anzio and raise your hand as your name occurred. Anzio, meaning here, here and now, all present and correct, was the first word of Irish I spoke. The last name on the ledger belonged to Joseph Mary Plunkett Ward and was followed, as often as not, by silence, knowing looks, a nod and a wink, the master's droll. And where's our little ward of court? I remember the first time he came back. The master had sent him out along the hedges to weigh up for himself and cut a stick with which he would be beaten. After a while, nothing was spoken. He would arrive as a matter of course with an ash plant, a sally rod, or finally the hazel wand he had whittled down to a whiplash, its twist of red and yellow lacquers sanded and polished, and altogether so delicately wrought that he had engraved his initials on it. I last met Joseph Mary Plunkett Ward in a pub just over the Irish border. He was living in the open, in a secret camp on the other side of the mountain. He was fighting for Ireland, making things happen. And he told me, Joe Ward, of how he had risen through the ranks to quartermaster, commandant, how every morning at parade, his volunteers would call back, Anzio, and raise their hands as their names occurred. And I just want to do one. I hope I'm not taking up too much time. But this is by this really obscure poet named W.H. Auden, and it's called We Too Had Known Golden Hours. We too had known golden hours when body and soul were in tune, had danced with our true loves by the light of a full moon, and sat with the wise and good as tongues grew witty and gay over some noble dish out of Escoffier, had felt the intrusive glory which tears reserve apart, and would in the grand manner have sung from a resonant heart, but pawed at and gossiped over by the promiscuous crowd, concocted by editors into spells to befuddle the crowd. All words like peace and love, all sane affirmative speech, had been soiled, profaned, debased to a horrid mechanical screech. No civil style survived that pandemonium, but the rye, the sotto voce, ironic and monochrome, and where should we find shelter for joy or mere content when little was left standing but the suburb of dissent? Okay, thank y'all.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Michael Sindler. Always great. And for the uninitiated, we have a little tradition there where if you do a cover poem, kind of put a lid on it, right? Get the lid, right? A cover, put on the hat. Yeah, and in my mind, I saw the hat, even the screen was off. All right, but yeah, thanks for people tuning in. Shout out to Ed for being there in the chat as well. Deborah, hello. I see you there. Yes, thanks for tuning in. But we're going to go ahead and keep this online mic going, and we're going to travel to South Euclid, Ohio, where we have Doc Janning next up on the mic. Doc, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thank you. For this first poem, I need to do a share screen, please. And let me get to share.
It's on now.
It's on now. Good. This is a piece called Abstract Blue by Georgia O'Keeffe. It was used as an example in a workshop on ekphrasis, which Finn Bell conducted last week. So this is my ekphrastic poem, Abstraction Blue for Georgia O'Keeffe. A chiaroscuro of blues, layered images, shapes, sensuous lines which speak in silent languages of time and the fuzzy logic of dreams. A vision of oceans within oceans and currents which separate yet mix and meld, an abstraction of thought, a synopsis of the surreal. And I guess I have to turn off the sharing. No, I goofed. Okay.
Did it for you. You're good.
And my next piece is titled Journey to Love. In the wilderness of time, amid its vast silence, we wander, we journey through adversity toward understanding, toward inclusion, toward purpose. There is a past and a future and the bridge of today. We are numbered as we cross that bridge, as we work toward our future, and we contribute. We give our love to family and community as it is given us by God. A message of hope and renewal, a commitment, a covenant, a sacred union, an undying love. And our journey continues. Star Song. Nightfall. Stars seed the sky with points of light in unpatterned profusion, and they sing all the ancient songs of space and time, songs of galaxies, planets and moons, asteroids, comets and dust, and the vastness between. They sing the Big Bang, change and entropy, dimensions and timelines, the multiverse and infinity. And their songs radiate, reflect, and refract, and meld as one song, the song of existence. And finally, life is. Life is questions and change, questions of meaning, of emptiness and solitude, loneliness and transformation, death and rebirth. The existentialism of who, what, when, where, why, and how. The changes implied by purpose and the command of things yet to do. A reintegration, a bridge between conscious and conscious, subconscious and subconscious, a creation of a self, an identity. It is possibilities and truth. It is a liminal space, a becoming, and the foundation for the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Doc. And of course, where can people follow, support your work online, or if you have anything you want to plug as well?
The only thing I want to plug is that this Wednesday in Solon, Ohio, there's an open air event called Second Anniversary End Jewish Hate Day. And I was asked to be a reader for that. So if you're in the area of Solon, Ohio on Wednesday, the event begins at 4 p.m. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you. And let me get this sign up sheet here. If you're just tuning in, this is our Monday night online mic. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you guys. And still plenty of room to sign up. If you are on YouTube and our live stream, the link can be found in the description of the video. But we're going to go ahead and come back to El Paso for our next performer. He contributed quite mightily to our 30 for 30 poetry showcase in April for Poetry Month. But he does have his own Substack going on that you can check out. But right now we have Ed K. Gonzalez Jedi up next. I forgot where the K went on that in that order. We got Ed Gonzalez up next. So Ed, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away. Hey.
Hey, hello. Yeah, the K, I move it around, I guess. I don't always include it, but it's included in my in the address, my Substack address. Wanted to let's see. Wanted to bring up the BWOMS t-shirts and still available. You can check the link tree. I think that's where I got mine, different colors. Really cool. Happy Monday, everybody. From there, I go directly into gratitude for BWOMS. Y'all make Mondays great. Well, let's see. I have some tumble words. And this first tumble words is the last Saturday with the great Bill Sparks. I always look forward to that because it does take me back. Not necessarily through my family, because we would just go someplace and eat until everybody sort of drunk themselves into a proper stupor. I, of course, was a little kid back then, so I'm going to go ahead and roll right into it. I have a few, and I have a couple of covers. The first one is entitled War Stories. I know many stories of war from my friend's dad, Mr. Gonzalez. He would always insist that we call him Manny, but we never did. He dealt with all of us, his son's friends, myself included, with respect. And would drop the hammer when it was necessary because, you know, he was actually a mechanic on a landing craft, and he was there on D-Day and many beaches after that. His best friend and captain of the vessel, we all call him Huero. I never really did learn his name. But they would get together from time to time, and they would hit the beer fridge hard and tell stories. Because my family members would never talk about their adventures in war. I remember my brother-in-law, when he got back from Korea, he would sleep on the recliner because the war was still going on in his head. I can never understand that, because he was very tall, large, and imposing person. And if you ask my mother, she would say the ones in theater were not the only ones that suffered. and she dealt with his absence. And then when he returned, he was not the same person. My father dealt with it with the help of a six-pack. He needed a beer in the morning just to function. I think that just like a fight, nobody really wins a war. Okay, this one is actually entitled Hala, which was the name of my cat a very long time ago. This was a Tumble Words back in last year by the great Maria Perez. I would not categorize myself as a cat person. I was the youngest of 5. There were many animals, some cats, with different names given by different people. I would say I was more of a dog person, as I would climb the local hills, and Missy Fu would never follow. But Hondo, my buddy, he would. And he would let me know of impending snakes and assorted beings on my path. I would spend hours up in the hills and always ended up at my spot near the cliff, which I would sit under the tree on my rock. But on the way, there were a few mansions, old and now closed and abandoned, and the streets were covered with dirt and gravel. Some squatters would occupy the homes, but I need not fret with Hondo with me. Plus, being the youngest of 2 brothers, I enjoyed throwing fists. But back at home, I would make a pile of kibble for the cats, and now empty butter containers and fill them with water. And I figured if Hondo didn't mind, why should I? Okay, this one actually I was discussing with my homeboy Ed Viduri. He just recently added this to the latest the International Poetry Festival. He added this piece to that, entitled "The Nine." I've crossed to the other side. You turn your head, wanting to look back, but a pile of salt I want not to be. I have been on this road before and vowed never to return, but thanks to carefully placed triggers, placed me there, back. Now returned, I can feel, not merely where joy was a world away, but because it was a hard crawl through the rocky, unending trail and plunged into the bottomless Red Sea of anxiety. Once there, nothing, no time, but future and past to comprehend. But once on the other side, a Moses-like stratagems got you through and hard fought, crushing wisdom is found. Through burnt crisp, once you traverse the 9 levels of hell. And that's no way to live. Believe me, I know. So breathe in joy, a joy like no other. Stay present and be a beacon of light for all to follow. Okay, this one I recently wrote. It's a real short one. Had a kind of a crazy weekend. So it's entitled Sit. This morning I made an espresso for everyone. I drank mine while watching a movie. I sat quietly and felt a bit sad. I think it was because my last night's phone call, a longtime friend of mine called me. He has a few too many and definitely gets sad. To express his sadness and the subjects involving aging, I muted the TV and sat with my sadness until then I decided not to continue with my unsatisfactoriness. Gratitude is key, and happy for how far you have come. Okay. And now I got a couple of covers. This one I'm pretty sure everyone's heard. It's entitled Praying by the great Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. Mary Oliver. Okay, and my last piece is actually a piece that I got off. I think I got it from one of the poetry books. It's entitled, I think it was entitled Butterflies and Pebbles by S.C. Lurie. The soles of your feet have walked across the battle zones. Only the bravest know of you deserve 1,000 dances under the moon for being here today. I think sometimes we drain ourselves with all we trying to get ahead to some place we've never been. And we forget that we've got to hear from all the way back from there. S.C. Lurie. If you don't have an S.C. Lurie book, you should get one because boom. Anyway, want to thank BWOMS, Richie, and Kit. Just remember to take time for yourselves, even if it's just a few cleansing breaths. Self-care. You are all valued. Peace and love.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. And yes, I'm going to post a copy there of the Substack there in the live chat if you guys want to check out more of his writing, get kept up to date with all that stuff. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep this thing going. We're going to stick around in El Paso, and we got some more poetry. We have Robin Schofield next up on the mic. So, Robin, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday, or whatever day it is for you people in the future. It's Mental Health Month, so I'm going to read some poems from my manuscript about mental health called Diurnal Disturbances. My shrink thought that was a great title. Portrait of the artist as a young child. She kept the lamp on late, floral notebook on her desk, and the sins of the she-wolf, fraud and betrayal. Her mother chased her, red devils in her nightmares. Trailing clouds of glory, at 7 she wrote her first poems about robins. What do you want to be when you grow up? Her aunt, the artist, asked. A poet, she answered. Her mother sang loudly and off-key. Neither picked up a pen nor sat at a typewriter. The New Yorker lay about on the coffee table. They feed, they lion. When she boiled over among autumnal colors, her mother didn't believe her. She said red and orange rhyme. You mean they match? No, she heard them rhyming in the lantana by the pigeon coop. She learned to name purple martins and dianthus, portulaca and mockingbird, where the ruby-throated hummingbird oscillated around the Turk's cup and mixed up the tenses in her poems. No one taught her any better. That was the riddle. Her mother never learned the names of any flowers except those for the dead, marigolds, and the hackberry tree which flowers white in spring and turns out red berries by autumn. And this one is called A Mental Health Sonnet. And it actually won a state award from NAMI. So that's pretty cool. No money, just the honor. Right? But as Mary Oliver said, it's not a contest. It's called A Mental Health Sonnet. The doctor says it's my gripless synapse, the unbalanced nerves that travel miles and miles along, it turns out, trains on the wrong rails. My brain chemistry suffers from relapse and goes off to Las Vegas to play craps and other games of chance, like striking oil in such rocky terrain where the snakes coil on top of stones and wind whips the gaps. My canyon mood rises out of its cave, cold-blooded as the mountains. I ride it like a bronco. Ignore the panic inside, the heights, the rocks, the pain. I want to rave, to howl, to scream. A wolf mourned and hungered outside the folds of my brain, word for word. All right, and this one, well, I'm not sure if this guy was diagnosable, but when he was old, John Wheeler, the physicist, he was at University of Texas at Austin, and his colleagues thought he had gone off the rails. I'll tell you that I heard that from the younger physicists there. All interesting people, and John Wheeler taught a class for, it was called Physics for Liberal Arts Majors. So we talked, and I don't think he was crazy, but he had a theory called the it from bit. So this is John Wheeler's vision at the University of Texas, the it from bit. The human brain, he thinks, must interfere with underlying reality, occupied as it is by dragons and giants and ogres, interweaving stones and folk, plural protons, rivers and atoms. The live oak can see nothing. Our seeing engraves our nature, an illuminated book, a magical tree. That's all. His blue eyes focused on a dark absence, and if light cannot escape, Milton's third eye, what about his left foot on the distant smoky hills beyond rural Bee Cave Road, as Wheeler sits in his ninth floor office, reflecting with the plate glass windows when he reads Blake for the first time. With his mentor, Niels Bohr, he met Einstein at the boat when he was 21. He teaches that moment on the dock in 1932, one great man waiting for another, how they gravitated to each other and celebrated the escape. Wheeler thinks of the new knowing, how he could not unknow it, so he named the darkest part. Black holes, we call them to this day. He enters Blake's hell knowingly above the clock tower's toll. In our willing universe, Wheeler says what is self-aware down to the slightest bit of subatomic it, which makes us stardust, stardust us. Yeah, he just said that everything was conscious. I don't think that's crazy. Oh yeah, I'm the one who turned him on to Blake. He told me Milton was his favorite poet. So I said, oh yeah, if you like Milton, you'll love Blake too. And so I'm going to continue with my cover poems, covering the crazy Midwestern poets. So today I'm going to read John Berryman. Let's see, I believe Berryman was the one that jumped off a bridge. Right? Think so. Anyway, this is Dream. He wrote like about 300 of these poems called the Dream Songs, and they're really wild, and they have a character in them called Huffy Henry. So this is Dream Song number 1. Huffy Henry hid the day, unappeasable Henry sulked. I see his point, trying to put things over. It was the thought that they thought they could do it made Henry wicked and away, but he should have come out and talked. All the world like a woolen lover once did seem on Henry's side. Then came a departure. Thereafter nothing fell out as it might or ought. I don't see how Henry, pride open for all the world to see, survived. What he has now to say is a long wonder the world can hear and be. Once in a sycamore I was glad all at the top, and I sang. Hard on the land, where's the strong sea, and empty grows every bed. So, write poetry, but don't be like John Berryman. All right, back to you, Richie.
Okay, thank you, Robin. And I accidentally opened the wrong program, switching over. Oh shoot. Okay. Sorry. Thank
It's
you for
okay.
that, Kit. Alrighty then. Let me make sure I just opened the video editing program by accident on my computer, so I'm letting it load. Otherwise, it's gonna get kind of crazy here. But yeah, we have a return. Someone that we have not seen in a while. Joining us from Los Angeles, we have Ideas Aubrey. Gonna share some poetry. So when you are ready, I'm gonna switch over to you. Welcome back to the show. Hey.
Hello. How everybody's doing? How everybody doing? Poets. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I captured a sound deep with the shadows and words can never they found me. Trembling to my lips and my breath had broken through the chains of death. Voices become something. Shadows with words, let me unleash. Unleash my own sound, let my voices become something different. Open me, striking and louder than freedom. Freedom is something different. No longer, I'm doubting my fear. My spirit have rolled my crystal in my clear. Each and warhead becomes something indifferent. Tapestry and tapestry, stories become unheard and boning with voices and voices in the river becomes something different. I carry the essence of the wildest of the sound. Hushes and captures and off with the open with my bear. Captures them with their sounds and deepen of the striking. Freedom is something loud when Malcolm had told me because this is a televised and melodies become shadows and vibrance become colors and tapestries become freedom and the crystals it becomes something different. Words are not just stories. Let your voices come rivers and essence and violence and no longer will be quiet again. Peace and love. Ideas Aubrey. I just want to warm you guys up tonight. Hello there. At Paso, Texas. Woo. So let's start off with this one. Morning coffee. This mug is darkness and stories and roasts and beans and this and land. Whips it in my hands and streaming through the bibbing of the kiss at abyss is something entoppling. Let me become it, purple of words and words like ink. Ink and fragile is something mine. This morning coffee is something sexy. My poet's heart is ripping in something different. And agave is something drinking with the little bit of cream with the lavender just singing. Shadows of dreams and something different. My mug is sickening, existing like sex into the morning. Let me feel the darkness of my own true poetic mind, like the anxiety and the question is trying to whipping me around me. This poem is probably can come in something different from this in line when I walk with my morning coffee, kiss up the abyss and something different and drag with words around me because that is something different with the fragile what we live through. My morning coffee is something I breathe in, something I live with. This blank in words and ink and rhyming, fragile and styles and inspire me. Let they clip me around my own body. The kiss is something different and coffee is wings. And let me sing with you with the truth become something. My dreams become nightmares. My nightmares become reality. But my words become beaten when my silence is something different. My morning coffee. Your stories is darkness and lipsticks and roasts and beans and this and land, and I never even know what we are about to have, but this story is still burning around me. This song It's just as fragile as my heart, like my ego is. My breast in my mind and rips in my story. Let my truth become heard. My words is nothing different. My words, nothing different. My words is never different. At the quiet, at the hun of the gingers of the swag, the drop of the kiss of the abyss. This is morning coffee to you. Ooh. I got one. Let's do this. This is for the poets. This is for the poets. This is for the poets. 1,000 words of sympathy. Liquid injustice and words and voices we become and rise and acquire of the streets of the mountain we have broken, as silence of the beacon of the hope we have shared. All pens become swords of truth, it has come justice. All fight is the might, all words is passion. The revolution and revolution will always be telephone. 1,000 poets of sympathy. My voices it become raising with the machine and spoken with words and mountains we have cherished, leaving the gaping and the lines and blossomed in vibration with the fruit of the passion, climb something different, strong with the voices and the breaking of the chains. The witness of the life I have passed of the seasons, my legacy is nothing different. My oldness of my words at this page becomes something. I live and live of the Hennessy of my question, of a question of never doubting. My essays, my quote, my thesis is something different. My books, my wings, my theories are stepping stones around me. My distant lands become what we are. I will always look at you, dear my students. As we raise together, we are looking after the darkness is nothing after my pens is just writing like campuses around me. I hold with extra strokes and story to tell my 1,000 poets of sympathy. It's like a fly of distance in quality. I have cherished of the streets, of the words of broken, a silence of the beacon of the hope. 1,000 poets of justice, 1,000 open mic, 1,000 of hosts of the beacon of the truth. Because we are the breaking news. We are the storytellers. We are the comedians. We are the rappers. We are the dancers. We are the artists. We are the synthesis of voices. We are sharing something down. All poems do not discriminate on color or sexuality, even on voice. We slay on dragon in so many different ways. And we are carrying the crown with like the days of living. This is the chase of words. We climb those hurdles. We encourage who we are. We rise against the machine. We rise against the man. We rise against a government. We arise against who we are. We are the truth of tales of we are. 1,000 poets of empathy. A change of inequality, a voice of togetherness, a city with a streets, a mountain with a peak, our voices will we break, a silence will we live, a pen or a sword, or truth is a voice, or words of an aspirer. A haiku is something we live for. A poem is a quote. A paragraph is something we say on. A thesis of what we argue. Or voice is a powerful of a shape of a legacy forever to defeat. Peace and love. Ideas Aubrey. Thank you.
All right, beautiful. Wow, and he got the the camera zoom. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us again. I love the energy. I love the dynamics and all those pieces. A lot of memorable lines as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you, poets. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be going from Los Angeles, California to. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. The land of forgotten women. Poetry is the greatest thing since they put the pocket and PETA. That's right. That's once again Finn Bell up on the mic. I got to make sure because I know you fill out your stuff there. I gotta read them out loud. Yes, but welcome back.
Thank you so much, Richie. Happy Monday, folks. I wanted to share 3 poems with you. I know Doc Janning mentioned the ekphrastic session that I did on Saturday. I wrote a poem to one of the pieces as well. And I shall share screen. So this piece I'm sharing is Belkis Ayon's Sin Titulo, Mujer en Posición Fetal. So here's my piece dedicated to that. Sikan, prinsesa, babae, banal. Sikan, prinsesa, babae, banal. Sikan, prinsesa, babae, banal. We are burned by the divine fish that submerged you in its power. We bear witness to your ravaged limbs. We too are buried beneath. We nestle your womb in our right palm, knowledge within our spine. We still catch the wind swirling your secret as it drifts past our ear. We wander the wasteland, first woman, wary of the counsel of man. We are naked and newborn, subjected to a worldview perversion. We are alone when we become surrounded by misplaced adulation. We sing mother hymnals in chorus, our temple, frigid and distant. We do not renounce our ritual, we trill it to the ibis and dark moon. We live afresh, shrouded silent in the gray, the muck, and scale. Okay, so my next piece is titled Making Fudge. And I started this at Ashley Edge's Get Prompted workshop, I believe, a month or so ago. And the prompt was a quote by Les Dawson. Families are like fudge, mostly sweet with a few nuts. So this is called Making Fudge. Mama packed her luggage early. In anticipation of taking the long trip up the rickety oak wood stairs that led from our house to a temporary stop in Purgatory's long, narrow waiting room, before taking the equally long, some 80 miles times 10,000 vapor blue escalator that opened up to St. Peter's cozy ground floor office situated just to the left of the pearly gates. Mama wanted to be well prepared for her long, leisurely retirement in the Nat King Cole active elder art community of the Silver City. This has always been her way in all things. It was how she perched upon and moved in a world that was constantly shifting around her. In preparation, I had expected she would fill suitcases and large tote bags and balikbayan boxes the same way she got us ready for our trip to visit relatives in Durungao, Sawan, and Mindoro when I was 3, or our family trip to Disneyland Anaheim when I was about 7. I looked for the expected Tupperware, plastic forks, and aluminum foil missing from cupboards, the telltale skeleton of a rotisserie chicken devoid of all its tender meat, the lunch she would pull out at rest stops and picnic areas. I checked off her mental list, double the underwear folded neatly just in case, our bathing suits and flip-flops, brand new crisp white t-shirts that came in packs of 2 or 3 from Kmart for Daddy to change daily between breaks from road trip driving, cartons of wet wipes, liter bottles of Coca-Cola and red plastic cups, Brock's peppermint swirl candies, and dollar bags of assorted flavor lollipops to share with one another or give away to aunts, uncles, and cousins. All these items remained in their designated spots, carefully arranged containers and drawers, undisturbed. Upon further scrutiny, I discovered the door to the baking cabinet slightly ajar, the sugar jar empty, the bags of Hershey's semi-sweet chocolate she kept handy for the holiday season, absent from their corner. 2 days later, I couldn't locate the cream to mellow my coffee or poof top my chilaquiles. All the wax-wrapped bars of Kerrygold unsalted butter mysteriously spirited away. Several nights later, I woke up with the start blurry from a dream of my mama making sweets for the evening. For her new flatmates in Paradise, Patsy Cline and Paul Newman, were throwing her a housewarming party. Before heading back to bed, I popped out to the porch for a midnight smoke. It would ease me back into sleepiness, but halted myself, cigarette arrested, midway on its trip to my lips. I realized the only thing my mom took along on her long celestial vacay were the ingredients for making fudge. This made no sense at all to me, and it was all but forgotten until 5 years later, Luis and the dog and the cats and I mourning Momo's passing, unhomed and out on our backs. My family, the family I thought I knew all my life, the family I loved and who were meant to love me, stood rigid in their resentment, hearts closed, in their desire for us to get our due and suffer. Door closed and locked behind us, judgment's warped key thrown away. Les Dawson's quote, "Families are like fudge, mostly sweet with a few nuts," came up as a prompt today at a workshop. I wanted to laugh and cry all at once. I do still remember a time when my own family, my parents, my siblings, and my son were sticky and sweet on each other, nuts about caring for, protecting, and defending our own. My mama's left arm must have ached from ceaselessly stirring our devotion's pot. When she left us, numb and grief-stricken, the only things she took with her were the ingredients for making fudge. I think she knew we could not make the recipe of our family without all its proper ingredients present. I think she knew no one was willing to make time to mix its thick batter with patience. I think she knew it would cool in the pan, hardened and separated. It would crack our molars to chew and sit bitter inside our mouths. We would pronounce it a bad batch to throw out, but not care enough to start all over again. She saw all this beforehand, and it broke her heart. She was halfway here and halfway traveling too far away. To whom would she entrust our familiar concoction, our salted and honeyed love? My mama had finished packing for her final trip. She swaddled each item with care and nestled them like cocoon babies into her carry-on. She wiped the cupboards and counters achingly clean before she departed. And then I wanted to close with a poem from Ada Limon's Startlement, which is a collection of selected and new poetry. And so this one is titled "The Origin Revisited," and then the epigraph for it was it says, "After a visit to the Yak Valley in Kootenay National Forest, Montana, where the U.S. Forest Service has announced a logging project called Black Ram. What is there to be done now but enter against abandonment, become a hollow sound in the halo of labyrinthine green, to become a crossed out word on the back of someone's hand. Once all of this became all of us. One, not yet golden western larch curves by a white pine curves by a western hemlock. No one here is heroic. To enter here is to enter magnitude, to feel an ecstatic somethingness, a nothingness of your own name. All words become wrong. A whole world exist without us. But who is us? Lichen, moss, grizzly scat, moose hoofprints like two exclamation points by the drying frog pond. How do you know you're alive? What evidence will you leave? So many myths are unraveling. A yellow swallowtail glides by over the sinless creek bed. The storm wets the skin, and we are surprised we have skin. Woods rose, white flowered rhododendron. Nothing here is unfinished. What it gave me, I saw a new tree emerge out of a ground made of ancient trees, on top of more ancient trees, on top of more ancient trees, on top of more ancient trees, and understood then that this was how the earth was made. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you for those pieces. And really quick, I know I got to do it. Anything you want to promote or share really quick too while we have you here?
Yeah, Fincabulary, 2 more events for the month. I think they're happening next week. One of them is a poetry games workshop with Carrie Cox, inspired by the Triggering Town, series philosophy of writing poetry and Poem Crazy, the book Poem Crazy. And also Gather Round, which is our Fincabulary story time, end of the month, last Wednesdays. And that is going to be led by the fabulous Diane Murray Ward. She's going to be reading from Tales of Princess Fatima. Yeah, and Mayari Literature has an open call for submissions right now. And the theme is Reflecting Waters.
Oh, I
Thanks,
love
Richie.
that. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Please feel free to share any links on there as well. Shout out to Fincabulary, all the awesome projects you have going on. Yeah, I usually have it on here on the sign up sheet, but I'll find it too so I can share it. But it's for those of you listening and want to participate, definitely look into that. But we're gonna go ahead and keep this thing moving along, and it looks like we're gonna come back to El Paso for our next performer. He's been name dropped, as always. Usually by the time he's up on call here, he'll be hosting next Thursday at Old Sheepdog Brewery for the last Thursday of the month, BWOMS in person open mic. But right now he's gonna grace our stage. It's Mr. Monday Night, Kit Ren. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away. Yo.
All right. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone, for going before me. Thank you to everyone who comes after me. So, let's see. 3 of mine and then the cover. I haven't taken the hiking trail less than 1,000 feet from me in quite some time. I took to the isolation of COVID like a duck to a saucepan in a honey glaze. But like writing, dog sitting occasionally turns old hobbies into duties I must fulfill. The 2 dogs led me down a canyon in Rim Road. It looked like I was trespassing in a painting. But I never lost myself fully in nature. I always had, in my sight line, fixed like a compass, the pickleball court of the obnoxious house to the right of my clients. Civilization, if that's what you want to call it, is winning. If that's what you want to call it. The calmer and larger of the 2 dogs stays below in the wilded half of the 2-tiered backyard, contemplating peacefully, as we and the more rambunctious dog continue climbing to the house. As I touch the back door, my phone starts playing a podcast about professional wrestling, embarrassing me in front of my amicable ex. Why am I embarrassed? She's seen everything and still wants to be friends. What's left for me to do? I want the willful composure of the dogs. I swear to you, I used to have it. It's a fairly recent one that I quite like. I fear we have left reality and now live in the simulacra. Nature loves to hide, but is now hidden too well. Or we have. Either way, the concrete has been irretrievably corrupted by the abstract. A transient man asked me to buy him an energy drink. I offered to get him water instead, but he said fuck that and karate kicked the empty air to the right of me. Which one of us was wrong? In the store, they had natural Cheetos. They were baked, not fried. Farm-to-table Cheetos. My laughter caught in my throat because Chester Cheetah himself walked down the supermarket aisle wearing a white silken robe. He pushed a Cheeto into my mouth, saying, "Eat, for it is my body." And in his left paw he held a can of Monster Zero Ultra White energy drink. He said, "Drink, for it is my blood." With his right hand he touched my forehead, and so marks me. And this orange circle has survived many showers since. I don't know what it means. I think I am beyond meaning. All right. The way to survive winter is to survive it. I'm sorry, I can't be more helpful. I think I should tell you as little as possible about hope, better days, green shoots, snowbanks melting, and roads being patched, because then you'll look for them. And, not finding them immediately, sink further down. And hope is most lastingly experienced as I have experienced it. As a static shock. Something you were unprepared for. You try to ignore it and crouch back down to water your miserable bonsai tree, but it's already tomorrow. You already made it into a year you didn't think the calendars would ever mark for you. And cover poem. Gonna go with An American Poem by Eileen Miles. It's gonna be great. Sorry. Eileen Miles, they're an absolute legend. They're still writing at 80-something. I was born in Boston in 1949. I never wanted this fact to be known. In fact, I've spent the better half of my adult life trying to sweep my early years under the carpet and have a life that was clearly just mine and independent of the historic fate of my family. Can you imagine what it was like to be one of them? To be built like them, to talk like them, to have the benefits of being born into such a wealthy and powerful American family. I went to the best schools, had all kinds of tutors and trainers, traveled widely, met the famous, the controversial, and the not so admirable. And I knew from a very early age that if there were ever any possibility of escaping the collective fate of this famous Boston family, I would take that route. And I have. I hopped on an Amtrak to New York in the early 70s, and I guess you could say my hidden years began. I thought, well, I'll be a poet. What could be more foolish and obscure? I became a lesbian. Every woman in my family looks like a dyke, but it's really stepping off the flag when you become one. While holding this ignominious pose, I have seen and I have learned, and I am beginning to think there is no escaping history. A woman I am currently having an affair with said, "You know, you look like a Kennedy." I felt the blood rising in my cheeks. People have always laughed at my Boston accent, confusing large for large, party for party. But when this unsuspecting woman invoked for the first time my family name, I knew the jig was up. Yes, I am. I am a Kennedy. My attempts to remain obscure have not served me well. Starting as a humble poet, I quickly climbed to the top of my profession, assuming a position of leadership and honor. It is right that a woman should call me out now. Yes, I am a Kennedy, and I await your orders. You are the new Americans. The homeless are wandering the streets of our nation's greatest city. Homeless men with AIDS are among them. Is that right? That there are no homes for the homeless? That there is no free medical help for these men and women? That they get the message as they are dying that this is not their home? And how are your teeth today? Can you afford to fix them? How high is your rent? If art is the highest and most honest form of communication of our times, and the young artist is no longer able to move here to speak to her time, yes, I could, but that was 15 years ago. And remember, as I must, I am a Kennedy. Shouldn't we all be Kennedys? This nation's greatest city is the home of the businessman and home of the rich artist. People with beautiful teeth who are not on the streets. What shall we do about this dilemma? Listen, I have been educated. I have learned about Western civilization. Do you know what the message of Western civilization is? I am alone. Am I alone tonight? I don't think so. Am I the only one with bleeding gums tonight? Am I the only homosexual in this room tonight? Am I the only one whose friends have died, are dying now? And my art can't be supported until it is gigantic, bigger than anyone else's, confirming the audience's feeling that they are alone, that they alone are good, deserve to buy the tickets to see this art, are working, are healthy, should survive, and are normal. Are you normal tonight? Everyone here, are we all normal? It is not normal for me to be a Kennedy, but I am no longer ashamed, no longer alone. I am not alone tonight, because we are all Kennedys, and I am your president. All right. So, Tom Awards is taking a needed week off. Don't bother me. Saturday's meet time this weekend. But we will be back on May the 30th with David Lateef, friend of the show. They have a great thing planned around Poezine, something they spent all their April making, a little craft to go along with their poetry. So we're really excited to learn more about that. That's May 30th at the Tom Awards Project. Also over Zoom. You can message me about that. You can find me on Instagram at KitRenaway. That's like the closest thing to like a decent business front I have. Is my Instagram? Oh. And I will be hosting live on Thursday the 28th at Old Sheepdog Brewery, as we do every month. I'm getting where I can do stuff on my own, and that's like exciting and a little scary. And so much gratefulness to Richie for that and for everything else. And we'll send it back to the big man. Thank you, Richie.
All right, thank you, Kit. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's rare, but it's a treat when you pull out that cover there, the Eileen Miles there. We're gonna go ahead and that's right, we got a debut. We got a new voice joining us from Arizona. We have Elizabeth Wells gonna share some poetry and prose. So welcome to the show. Happy Monday. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Yeah, this piece I wrote 17 years ago. I just like pulled it up. And then there's a little addendum of something that comes after it, which was written probably 8 or 10 years later. It's called This Ritual Heals. Thunk, thud, dig, toss. Have you ever dug a grave under the willow tree? Thunk, thug, dig, pitch. There's something so satisfying about it. An unadorned white box, except for a pink heart drawn on top. The body inside, soft and warm, surrounded by a star lily, wild flowers, a blue cloth. Thunk, thud, pitch, dig. You were a golden one, Sonny. Bright like the sun, you gave all to your earth journey. Who would think a species as you would be so patient, so kind? The shovel hits the ground, enters through rock and root. Jump on the shovel, dig deeper down, bend forward, pitch the dirt, toss it from the hole, 3 feet, 4 feet down. Put the box in the ground. Love is thunderous, wordless on this silent summer morning. Thunk, pitch, toss. Dirt flies back into the earth. Rocks are placed to weigh the box down. Poke holes with a stick to aerate the ground. Lift the dirt by shovel with bare hands. Pack it in, smooth it down. Rake remaining soil from grass. Would you like to plant flowers there or grass? The dirt will settle more. You may want to wait. No bother. You do what you want. We can change it later. White and pink quartz are chosen to lay on the grave. Sweep the dirt off the stones. Scrub them with water to make them shiny pure like you. Would you like to move these stones or leave them as they are? You can do what you like. No bother. We can redo it later. Simple, kind, functional words. You are a high being, and so the 3 crystal stones are large like you. 3 jewels, 2 white ones, wings of Dharma, and on the rosy quartz, the middle stone, we place pink petals to rest. Finally, we sit on grass and rock. You are a great being, and I know you are already roaming somewhere else. Even with the tears at the end, it was worth the 13 years. I guess it's only human, and I know I'm not enlightened. Not enlightened because she cries, but even the enlightened shed tears and feel the pull of the world. Grave digging under the willow tree. By the drive, so you can see who is coming and run to greet them. Who would think grave digging would be so satisfying? A pioneer on this soft earth, the last act of our care for you. I wrote this 13 years ago about a dog named Sunny. On rereading it, I wept, thinking of my mom and preparing her body after she left, adorning it with fresh flowers, scented oils, holy ash. It was my last act of care for my mom in her human form. Dog bodies lie in graves now, 13 years old. Ash from bodies lie in a box in the corner of my room. Tears moisten earth, aerate the ground of soul, enlightenment seeps out, brings us closer to the land of our beloveds. One day we will lie down too, and we will all race down the drive, jump to greet each other with sloppy wet kisses like Sunny once did. Open doors of our homes with a warm embrace and hugs like Mom once did. Words, graves, voice, earth, sun, light. These rituals heal, and still the tears do not stop.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. I know you shared your website when you signed up. Do you want to talk about that, or how can people find more of
Yeah,
your work?
I'm just wondering if I should do one more or not.
You can.
Yeah, they could find, where's my work? It's all on
True.
my computer. I've been writing my entire life. It's in my computer. I have two websites. One's called yourmiracletime.com. One is my name, Elizabeth Wells. You got to spell it correctly, though, WELLES.com. I have some courses that people can take about writing, different things on writing at Your Miracle Time. There's some really nice artwork at elizabethwells.com. No, I think that was I'll just leave it with that piece, I think.
Okay.
Unless you want something a little lighter.
That's up to you. We have a little bit of a lighter list, so I mean, we don't have two more. So if you do want to, it's open, but
I'll
don't
read
feel
this.
obligated.
I'll read
Okay.
this little thing.
Cool.
I wrote it probably a bazillion years ago, and I think I wrote this when I was like in love with this guy I couldn't talk to, like not that I couldn't talk to because I was so damn shy. Um, and I have about 15 different versions of this, and it's a very simple piece. And I've got, I was trying to make it into a poem, like a song, but it's called Ribbons of Time. In the ribbons of time, there lies a string of pearls, each one a gem of soft, uncut dreams, unwritten worlds of dance, of love, celebration, and song. Dare I enter these dreams of mine? What if it's only a haze in my mind? I create long lullabies that soothe me, dreaming of you, misty morning, sweet smelling dew. What if I find I'm alone in my head when I awake alone in my bed? I want to create a world where we both belong, a world with smooth, buttery dawns, where the sun rises yellow and the day is sweet, you by my side, bathing in oceans blue and deep. In the ribbons of time lies a string of pearls, each one a gem of soft, uncut dreams, unwritten worlds. But what is there to lose in the ribbons of time, where pearls just stack up on strings and unwind? I'll only know by sharing my truth, sharing my dreams, the dreams of my youth. Together we can make them shining pearls. I'll wear them on my breast where your head you can rest. We'll dance in the rain, move gently in the night. Dreams I thought were not meant to be, I'll now wear freely like the tide wears the sea. I'll wear pearl armor to shield the fears away. I'll parade them on my dressing gown, knowing you will stay. If worlds become written by our intent, dreaming of you, I'm going to make a dent, an inroad, a place to start by offering to you the dreams in my heart.
Yeah, very lovely. Thanks for sharing that one.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
And
Thank you
just
for
end it. Yeah, of course. It's been said in the chat already. If you haven't seen it, hope you come back. So we're here every Monday. So hope to see you again pretty soon.
Thank you.
All right, Elizabeth, everyone. And if you guys are just tuning in, this is our online open mic. We do this every Monday here on YouTube. Again, this is the Barbed Open Mic series. We're based out of El Paso, Texas, U.S. Southwest. But because of the internet, we are welcoming people from all over the country, all over the globe. Usually we get a little international. It doesn't look like we have anyone tonight, but we are going to go to the capital where we have Ed Poetastic going to share some poems with us. So Ed, when you are ready, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, my bro, like no other, with energy like thunder. And another applause to Elizabeth. That was very lovely. Please come back.
Thank you.
You're very welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Hope
I
you're ready
often
for
work,
some wine.
but thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. Hope everyone ready for some rhymes. Hello, my name is Ed Potato and Feeling Fantastic. Please, in the time you can join my rhyme bottles of applause. I got 3 poems, so I'll take too much time. The first poem is called Unchewable. You are a rock. It's not a shock. You are geology. Listen to my poetry. You're a diamond. You're a legend. You're a garnet. You're a rocket. You're citrine. You're serene. You're a marble, you are gentle. You are jade, you are aid. You are ruby, you are groovy. You are turquoise, you are a voice. You are onyx, you are a phoenix. You are granite, you are a planet. You're a sapphire, you're an empire. You're amorous, you're glamorous. You're ember, you're a hammer. You're opal, you're soulful. You're a quartz, you are sword. You are sodalite, you are bright. You're a jasper, you're a glacier. You're a moonstone, you are a throne. You are solid, you are rooted, you are crystal, you are nimble. You can shine out of any bind. Thank you. And this other one is 30-30. It was from the 30 to 30 poetry challenge. The theme was dog, well, it was dog-eared, so I kind of ran with it. Hope everyone liked it. This is called dog-eared. In a world where tags wag and whiskers play, we find joy in each of our own special way. Dogs chase squirrels and wild and free, while cats lounge around carefree. We scratch away our pesky fleas to ease the burden of our misery. People blatantly avoid, but don't see. We're the cats and dogs in this poetry. I don't like stupid dogs or annoying cats. Okay, but you know what I say about that? We're all the same playing the game. We refuse to be lame and tame. Can I please go on without any issue? Are you sniffling? Do you need a tissue? Please embrace your unique animal. They're unpredictable, yet so reliable. We dig for treasure, both young and old. Cats curl in warm laps, feeling bold. We play and fetch with hearts full of cheer, pounce on shadows with nothing to fear. With scratches behind ears and playful nips, life little pleasures are joyous trips. Let's wag our tails and scratch our paws, embrace our true selves without flaws. Whether a dog or a cat full of grace, together we frolic in this joyful space. Don't let your freedom go to waste. Freedom is great, but only if you embrace. Thank you. And the last one's called Birds of a Feather. Two birds of a feather don't always flock together. I'm not a zoologist, but this is my hypothesis. They're the same species, but they live different realities. They have the same colors, but they soar differently like no other. They have the same migration, but they travel to different destinations. They have the same eyes, but they come in different size. They have the same beak, but they have different techniques. They have the same food, but they have different moods. They have the same taste, but they have different wastes. They have the same squawk, but they have different walks. They have the same feet, but they have different beats. They have the same mating calls, but they have different falls. They have the same wings, but they have different strings. They have the same mate, but they have different debates. They have the same cycles, but they have different lifestyles. Don't be stuck in a category. Instead, create your own story. Ride the warming winds to another nest of friends. Let your feathers define you, but glide through a breakthrough. Keep eating the same old seed, or do you choose to proceed to succeed? Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, is that it? Was that three?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can say one more.
It's up to you, bud.
Uh, say one more. Let's see. This is called Clad in Clutter. We're all turtles, going through hurdles, carrying our boulder, getting a bit colder, growing through our pace, no time to waste. Carry your insecurities. Why carry theories? Carry your regrets. Why carry your threats? Carry your sadness. Why carry numbness? Carry your shame. Why carry the blame? Carry your responsibilities. Why carry insensitivities? Carrying your anger. Why carry anchor? Carry your mistakes. Why carry headaches? Carry your sins. Why carry linchpins? Carrying your past, why carry whiplash? Carrying your expectations, why carry isolations? Don't carry too much, easy on the clutch. Get out of your shell. Is it ringing any bells? It's not a part of you. You know what to do. I know it weighs a ton. Toss it and enjoy the sun. It's your burden to bear. It's not a burden if you share. I can't because I'm shy. I have to really ask why. Don't stay closed or hidden. Your story hasn't reached an end. You're not just a turtle, but somebody. You're still the life of the party. Please drop it and just reach out. Believe this is what life is all about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, Ed. Straight into the poems this time around. How can find people watching online, follow and support you online?
Well, you can follow me, support me online. Welcome to this wonderful, stupendous, magnificent open mic that makes our Monday Such Light into wonderful, fantastic spotlight. If you want a little bit of writing, you can go to Tumble Words on Saturday. That's when all of us work on our wordplay. Woo!
Not
All
this
right.
Saturday, though.
Oh, not this.
To reiterate.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Thank you, Kit. You're always a smashing hit. If you I'll be at every open mic to offer my insight to every moonlight or daylight. But if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman. And never forget that you more important than you ever know. Don't stop your glow, never stop your flow. If you don't know, now you know. I love this show. And remember, life is not a contest, so never stop being and doing your best.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Ed Potastic. Once again, thanks for sharing those pieces with us. All right, looks like we're coming towards the end of our list, and it looks like he is ready. I don't have to call him. All right, but yeah, just a quick reminder, please join us this week if you are in the El Paso area, Tuesday downtown at Rosewood, Wednesday at Storycraft, and if you can make it Thursday, come check out some jazz and poetry at International from 9 p.m. to 11:30, featuring myself and the live jazz band. But without further ado, we got our closer. It is Dan the Man. Dan, when you are ready, go ahead and unmute, and the spotlight is yours.
First off, congrats, Grad. We're so glad that we're not mad. We're just proud to be glad. But even though, congrats, Grad. UTEP minors, EPCC, high school, EPISD, like my old high school, Franklin High School, go Cougars. Yeah, so it's always the smoothest. It's always the bloopers, but not like the Coopers. Yeah, but always go Cougars. Well, as always goes Miners. Yeah. Well, speaking of sports, there's always the Miners. There's always the Cowboys, the Chihuahuas, the D-backs, the Stars. Oh, great, they're out of playoffs. Oh, got my three: the Lakers, the Heat, the Suns. Yeah, I guess they're all out. Yeah, I know of. Okay, well, let me real quick something. Yeah. Yeah, it's one hell of a layover. So turn the bowl over. Need the Jeep Land Rover. This ain't no spillover, it's just warm over. Cliffs of Dover like a four-leaf clover. Yeah, follow the clover like St. Patrick's Day. Who can say it's Green Day? Oh, the name of the band. Name of the band. It's like on the walk in the sand. It needs to be the hand. Yeah. And we need the colon. We need the semicolon, but not the swollen, but it's still stolen. But it's not stolen. Well, we need like the smallish, the pot. We need this polish. Always need is the spit and polish. Not to demolish. Cranbound the abolish, and the apple polish. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. You always say it's bound to Dolly. We need the trolley to get. We need the trolley to get to the grand finale. Hot tamale and a melancholy. One big finale. Ain't that right, Wally? Okay. All right. Well, I know next week's Memorial Day, so in honor and memory of the veterans, and we're like more than halfway through the 5th, and I'm about more than a month away till my birthday. 43. Who can we receive? Okay. And to turn around the light, we've seen the simple sight. Okay, Richie. I know next Saturday's fight night, so let's go ahead and call it a night.
Okay, man. Thanks. Sounds so excited about it. All right. That was Dan. And again, shout out to every single person who read tonight. And again, if you want to maybe join us next Monday, we will be here. All right. Other than that, thanks to everyone who tuned. Let's see. Yeah, check us out in person. If you live in the El Paso area, we got our Tuesday mic tomorrow, Verse and Harmony at Rosewood. Sign up starts at 8 p.m. Show starts after 9. Wednesday, we have our storyteller night. So if you've got a longer story to tell, sign up starts at 6:30. We start drawing names at 7. And of course, Thursday, spoken word, hip hop, and poetry at International Bar. That starts at like around 9:30. But hope to see you guys at any of those events. Of course, you can just follow us BWOMS.com. Otherwise, everyone have a great week. See you next time. My name is Rich.